What's going on YouTube? ShadyPenguinn here, bringing you a Wi-Fi battle. Before we get started, if you can do me a favor and just take 3 seconds, hit that little thumbs up button, leave this video a like rating. It'll help me, it'll help you, it'll help you, help me, help everyone find these videos and my channel. So, I bring you an underused battle today with the same team I had a couple days ago against a Smogon user known as TrueRaizen. Naruto reference, I'm sure. Really quick, we're just going to take a look at his team. He has a Victini, a Cobalion, a Quillfish, a Xatu, Swampert, and a Zapdos. The big threats I see on his team are Victini, because Victini is always a threat, and Cobalion, I know how powerful it is, seeing that I'm using one myself, and I hate Xatu so much because Magic Bounce just puts you in such tight spots. We'll go over my team really quick. I have my special attacker Mew with Expert Belt, Claydol with leftovers to set up the rocks, Chandelure with the Choice Scarf, Togekiss with leftovers just as a wall-ish type thing and a special attacker, Sharpedo, which is a physical beast, and Cobalion, which is also a physical tank and beast. So without any further ado, let's jump into this battle. So his in-game name is Nate the TrueRaizen. I'm going to lead off with my number 151 Mew, and he's going to lead off with his Victini, and I am scared of the U-turn, so I switch into my Flying Fat to eat the U-turn. I could have switched into Cobalion in retrospect, but either way, it does literally nothing, and Flying Fat has leftovers on him, so that helps out, that I'll just get most of that damage back. But he switches into his Chidori Zapdos, another Naruto reference, so I'm forced to switch out. I gotta be honest with you guys, the beginning of this match is all about the mind games, because here he withdraws, he goes for a double switch so early and goes for Pocahontas because he knows that I'm going to switch out into my Claydol, which is nuts. So I'm forced to switch out my Claydol again. I go back into my Mew, hoping he goes for a Psychic Attack. He goes for Grass Knot, which is just as fine because it does maybe 31 damage. Here he's going to be forced to switch out, and I go for T-Bolt, but he switched into his Swampert like a boss, so he gets to neutralize that attack. Then I'm going to switch out into my Flying Fat, and he makes another double switch and goes back into his Victini, which is awesome for him. So right here I'm fearing a Volt Strike, so I'm forced once again to switch. The mind games are ridiculous. Mind games! So here he goes for a U-turn on my switch into Claydol, which really stinks. I was hoping he would go for a Volt Strike, but I lose just under 50% health with my Claydol. I gain a little bit back with lefties, and he goes back into his Pocahontas. So once again, I'm forced to switch out because Claydol cannot do anything to Pocahontas. Nothing. Rocks, Toxic, no. Earthquake, no. Just nothing. So I go into my Cobalion, and he goes for a Psyshock, and it does more than I expected because Come At Me is kind of bulky on the physical side. Not invested or anything, but I just thought that it'd be good. So I go for the Stone Edge here, and I miss, of course. I miss because my life is terrible. So I'm forced to switch out, fearing an Earthquake. I switch into Flying Fat to neutralize that, but he goes for the Scald, knowing what I'm thinking. He is in my head. It's crazy. So I don't get the burn, which is very nice. But this game has still been a lot of switching. So here I get a little tired of switching. I just want to see how much an Air Slash will do. It doesn't do that much, but I do get the flinch off. So that was pretty nice for me because I got to test the waters and not have to risk getting hurt at all. Here he is going to switch out his Elfman back into his Zapdos, which of course is going to scare me out. But I went for the nasty plot because I thought maybe hoping he would stay in, seeing that I could eat Scalds. But he switched out like a good player, and I'm forced to switch out fearing a Thunderbolt. So I go into my Claydol, hoping to neutralize the Thunderbolt, which I do. So that was actually like probably my first good play in the entire game as far as prediction, because he's been out predicting me this whole time. So of course he goes back into his Xatu to neutralize my Claydol, and I do Rapid Spin. Why? Just because I wanted to reveal that I had it, just so I can intimidate him, and it does maybe like 3 HP, so it was worth it. So here I switch into my Sharpedo, hoping that he's going for a Psychic move, but he doesn't. He goes for a Signal Beam and kills my Fish Egg, which sucks because I love Fish Egg and it got to do jack that game. So now I'm going to switch into my number 151 and go straight away for the Ice Beam, knowing that he's going to stick with Signal Beam. I just got to get rid of this thing. So I take that risk, it pays off, he's dead. So that was good. I'm going to switch out my Mew for my Togekiss Flying Fat now, as he goes for the trick. So he's going to give me a Choice Scarf, and he's going to take my leftovers. And you know what? Flying Fat with a Choice Scarf, I wasn't too thrilled. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. You have a Choice Scarf, you're done. I'm just going to go for Air Slashes till you die, because it's going to happen. So he switches out into his Swampert. I go for an Air Slash, does whatever damage it does. He switches out again into his Chidori. I go for another Air Slash because it just doesn't matter. Flying Fat can just die in my book. Not very effective, barely does anything. I go for another air slash, and I get a flinch, which is awesome. But now I'm just like, alright, Flying Fat, you're trying hard. Let me switch into Claydol. He's going to go for a T-Bolt knowing that I'll stay in, but he actually goes for a Roost. The mind games in this game is ridiculous. I love it. This is a great battle. Hope you're enjoying it. Back to the game. So we get some lefties recovery. He's back at full because of Roost. Now he goes for a hidden power. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know which hidden power this is because it does neutral damage. I couldn't tell you. But I finally get to set up my rocks because stupid Pocahontas is dead in the ground. So I got rocks up. That's what I wanted this whole game. So now I'm going to go out because I can't stay in because Claydol can't really do much of anything against Zapdos too. I mean, it could have went for a Toxic, but I just didn't feel like it. I wanted to switch out into my Mew. So that is what I continued to do, which was, you know, it worked out pretty well because he knows that I have the T-Bolt on my Mew, and he's going to switch out. And I go for the Psychic knowing that he is going to switch out. He's not going to let his Qwilfish just take a T-Bolt. So Psychic doesn't do that much. I wish it would have done more. But now he goes for a double switch. He switches into his Victini knowing that I'm going to stick with Psychic, which I do. So he gets to resist that damage. But I'm okay with that because Stealth Rocks are adding up. They're going to add up. There's nothing you can do about it. Here I'm going to switch out because I'm fearing the U-turn again, and I go into Flying Fat to eat the U-turn. But what happens? He goes for the Bolt Strike because he reads books. So he's smart and he knows, and he takes down my Flying Fat. Just kidding. He doesn't take him down because Flying Fat is fat as anything. So he withdraws going, oh crap, he's just going to Roost up. Is that what I'm going to do? I mean, I'm Choice Scarf, so let's be honest, I'm going for another Air Slash. He switches into his Elfman, and I know that another Air Slash won't kill right here. But you know what? Like I said, Flying Fat is useless now. He's Scarf. Let's see if I can get a flinch. I don't get the flinch. So here I'm like, I might live a Scald, I live, but he gets the burn. Oh, you don't know how mad I was, but Scald burns, it does that, it's a move. Not a big deal. So Flying Fat goes down like he should have like 27 turns ago. So I can't be too mad. He put in work. Good job, Flying Fat. So I send in my Mew to spit out a little Ice Beam just to finish off this Elfman. I get that useless crit just to pour salt in the paper cut. By salt, I mean lemon juice. And he goes back into Qwilfish. So he gets the Intimidate off, which obviously does not matter against my Mew. And I just go straight away for the T-Bolt. Don't want to switch out. Don't want to give him a chance to set up because I feel like Puff Daddy carries the swords of dancing. So I take him out with one shot with a Thunderbolt. So now we're getting into actual battle. Just hit. And here I'm going to switch out fearing a U-turn because I'm always afraid of U-turns. And I send in my Cobalion. But what does he do? He knows that. And he goes for the V-Create. I just could not catch a break. I was just like, oh, two of my favorite Pokemon, Cobalion and Sharpedo, really got to do nothing in this battle. I mean, nothing. I think Cobalion ate one other hit and that was about it. I don't think and then he missed a Stone Edge. Good job, come at me. So I'm going to send in my Scarf Chandelure right here just to scare him out with the Shadow Ball, but I'm pretty sure that he is not going to switch, so I do go for the Shadow Ball, but he switches, and I get the Shadow Ball from the Cobalion, which does a decent amount. I don't get the special D-Drop, which was unfortunate, but it would have been awesome if I went for the Fire Blast and got to just take that out. So here I'm going to switch out into my Donuts once again to take his Hidden Power, which I'm pretty sure this was a Hidden Power Ice. But it really does nothing. It could be Hidden Power Grass or Water, but I don't see anyone with Hidden Power Water. So it does relatively nothing. So I decide, you know what, Claydol, let's get an EQ off. Why don't you just throw some Earthquakes his way and see how much it does. I know you're not a special attacker and he's pretty bulky, but it does enough. It does like 30%, I'm gonna say roughly. But with lefties, it's not gonna be a 2-hit KO. So he's gonna go for another Hidden Power. We're going to see that it doesn't do too much. He's just chipping away at my Donuts, just taking little nibbles, and I'm going to go for another Earthquake. So I just wanted to get as much damage as I could off on this Cobalion. There was really no reason for me to switch out. It didn't seem necessary to me. Donuts did his thing. He got good work in, and here I think he thinks I'm going to switch to save my Donuts, so he goes for the rocks, but I go for the Earthquake. I don't switch because there's no need, because Donuts can just die. But you know what? That's awesome. Donuts gets a kill, which is fantastic. Because he's utility, but Earthquake does what it needs to do against Cobalion. And now he sends in Chidori. I can't do anything against him, so right here I'm just like, I'm afraid of him setting up. So I stay in instead of switching out, and I go for the Toxic that I haven't revealed this whole game, so I don't think he knew I had it. So get the Toxic off on the Zapdos, which is awesome because it prevents permanent setup, because he got one Agility off, which honestly just right by itself is intimidating. And here I'm kind of hoping that I can live a Hidden Power, but I don't because it's a critical hit, and I'm not sure if I would have lived anyway. So Toxic takes its toll, which is awesome, and I finally noticed that he carries the Life Orb. I actually didn't notice in the battle until this point that he carried Life Orb. So he goes for a Roost. I'm pretty sure that he's going to go for a Roost. So I go for the Ice Beam here. I believe I'm a little ahead of myself right now. Yes, I do go for the Ice Beam, but because he used the Roost, it does neutral damage, which kind of stinks because if I would have went for a Flamethrower or a Psychic, it would have done a lot more. But you can't win all the games. So here he goes for a T-Bolt and brings me down to 34 with Life Orb because Mew is just a boss. I love that Mew is an underused. He's one of my favorite Pokemon, so versatile. It could be anything you want it to be. And this is going to bring us to the close of the battle. I go for a T-Bolt. I'm faster because I have a timid nature, I believe. And that is going to be the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. It was a very good game, TrueRaizen. Had a lot of fun with that one. Early game, just the mind games was crazy. If you guys like this video, please make sure you left that like rating before so more people can find me and this battle and other fun things on my channel. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and you can leave a comment about the video. I always appreciate that. Love talking to you guys. I will be streaming a lot. So if you're not following me on Twitter, quick shameless plug, find me on Twitter, follow me, and I will announce on there and also upload a video to YouTube whenever I'm streaming Wi-Fi battles. So thank you guys so much for watching, checking me out. Really appreciate it. Love you guys so much. But above all else, keep it shady.